Hey guys, and welcome to a super exciting Eurovision Hub video.
Today we're talking all things Melfest 2021.
But before we do that, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up.
And don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss any of this content.
Not at all, let's go. Now, Alesia, Joan, and Julia, on Monday, SVT said that Melodifestivalen 2021 thumps, glitters, and roars. Oh, they were right. The lineup has got Melfest veterans, fan favorites, artists that I personally thought we would never see back again. We have new faces, and they all go hand in hand with like incredibly talented songwriting teams. What are we thinking? Alesia, I'm going to come to you first. Who has got you most excited?
I mean, there's so many like heavy hitters. I have to say, I just want to do a shout out, I think, to my girl Clara, because I think last year at Melodifestivalen, great introduction. She was in one of the toughest semis, almost made it through and didn't. So I'm really excited to see her back this year.
Oh my goodness, where to start? The first thing that it was the first artist that we found out was Danny Saucedo. Never thought he would come back, as you said, really didn't. And what makes me happy is that it seems like he's going to do it in Swedish, which I feel like is more his sound, because he's done a lot of different things, and I think that he's found his sound. It is Swedish pop. So I'm really excited for that, because I feel like he wouldn't come back and just like, oh, just do it just because. Like, he is going to bring a show, and I'm really excited.
The two people I'm most excited about are Charlotte Perrelli and Jessica Anderson, because she's so underrated. She has taken part like 8 times, and she has served amazing ballads, amazing bops. She can do everything, and I'm so excited for her.
Yeah, I have to agree with Charlotte Perrelli, just because she is the woman who is responsible for making me like Eurovision way back in 1999. So I've always had a thing for her. And she said that her song is up-tempo, glamorous Schlager pop. And I can't say no to that, you guys. I really can't. And the songwriting, it's what we need. The songwriting team was responsible for Kingdom Come and Something in Your Eyes. So, you know,
I'm just happy that Charlotte is here and definitely coming to compete. I had high hopes the last time she was at Melodifestivalen. This time, I feel like my hopes will be fulfilled.
Yeah, and Alesia, I'm going to touch on what you said about Clara, because Fredrik Schempe and, oh, I'm sorry, Julia, I'm butchering these names.
No worries.
The last time he did a ballad for Melfest was in 2014, and that team won and went on to Copenhagen that year. So that's promising, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I think Clara has a really nice team together. It's interesting because when I think about like what I'd almost want to see her doing, it is sort of one of those like undue ballads, even like Victoria, you know, Not With Me. I didn't feel like that ballad suited Victoria very well, but I do think something like that could suit Clara. And I actually am hopeful that we might see her in the final this year. I don't know.
I am so excited for Patrick Sean. I mean, he brought us Move. He is an amazing artist. I mean, his songs are amazing. He's an amazing vocalist.
I have to tell you, so Patrick Jean, I've decided, is my Melfest boo this year. He's my boyfriend. We're getting married.
I thought you meant like boo, like I don't like him. I was like, what? No.
No.
Oh, okay. Now I get that boo. All right.
Last year, I was really hoping that Paul Ray would kind of give me an R&B vibe song. I don't know if we're going to get that from Paul Ray this year, but I think that Patrick Jean might give it to me and give it to all of us and just be my boo-boo this year from Melodifestivalen 2021.
Yes.
And there's always these debut artists that nobody expects to do well that end up beating the big names. So there's always something like that at Melodifestivalen. And so maybe next year we see some of the biggest names like Charlotte Perrelli, Erik Saade, of some of them getting eliminated because one of these debut artists.
Yeah, it really comes down to the song. It's all about the song, isn't it?
I think the Swedes are like, we're looking for a great show with a great song. Doesn't really matter who sings it. Sometimes it's like the quality of the song is like the most important thing, you know?
Yeah.
So just because you have a big name doesn't mean you're gonna win Melfest.
That's what makes Sweden so successful at Eurovision. You don't care about the names, you care about the show that they bring to the stage. So
One thing that I really love about Melodifestivalen is they do give us some pretty good debut artists. And for me, I had to write this down, but Frida Green, I'm really checking for her. I'm really checking for her to give us something dope. She has a really tight songwriting team, and I love her vocal. And I'm really curious to see what she delivers. I think that Frida might be one of the new artists that will surprise.
We'll give one last honorable mention that we're excited for. I'll kick it off with Anton Ewald, only because I loved Begging. I love that his background is in dance, and I know we're guaranteed like technical choreography, formations, you know, we're gonna get that, and I like to see a show. So that's what I'm excited for.
I feel like I want to say all of them, but I'm really excited for Emil Asegård because he is just, I follow him on Instagram, and he's just a sweet boy that I feel has so much potential within him that we haven't seen yet. He has an amazing song, amazing voice, and I'm really happy for him that he got this opportunity. So I'm really excited to see what he brings.
I would say Tess Merkel from Alcazar, because it's so heartbreaking to me that Alcazar never won Melodifestivalen, and any of the artists from Alcazar didn't win Melodifestivalen too. So I'm hoping for her to do so well, and she's going to bring a show, a song, everything. I'm so sure about that.
I mean, I hate to be cliche, but I'm happy that the mamas are coming back for the steal, okay? I feel like the mamas could have just been ushered in. I understand the Melodifestivalen is a standalone thing, but, you know, they won last year and they deserve their chance to be on the Eurovision stage solo.
So they won Melodifestivalen 2020. The mamas are back with a song called In the Middle, and runner-up Daughter is back with a song called Little Tot. I just want to ask you guys, can they repeat their success?
I mean, especially coming to the mamas, that is risky and that is brave. Because I totally agree with you that I do want them to represent Sweden for real. I think they deserve it. However, you also want to give the chance to other artists who I think also deserves it. So, I mean, I stand firm that I love the mamas more than I love Move.
Well, we had the mamas on a hangout here, and they told us that they were not expecting to come back in 2021 unless they had an amazing song that suited them so well. So if they have decided to come back, is because they believe in their song so bad. And I'm sure that they can repeat their success. I wouldn't be surprised if they won again.
For me, I think Daughter actually might have the harder time recreating some of the success. I don't know why I feel that. But one of the things that I love about Daughter is I think her style is very unique. It's very specific. And unlike a lot of the other entries, because I'll be honest, last year I felt like there were tons of derivative songs at Melfest, songs that sounded like other things that have charted like the previous year or that year. And one thing I love about Daughter is I really feel like she has a unique point of view and style. The thing about the mamas that I think other artists don't have is I just think the mamas are really universal. I think everyone, no matter how old you are, what your background is, you can kind of find something that you love about what they're serving. And this year, if they come back with a song better than Move, which honestly, I don't think it'll be that hard to do a song better than Move. You know, I think it's like, here we go.
No, I agree. Like we always said, like even like you said, Julia, people love the mamas, and maybe the love was more for them than the song Move, because Move alone by another artist, I wouldn't have fallen in love with it. But for me, I think they can repeat their success. Their songwriting team's incredible. The Swedish people, they love them. So there will be a lot of goodwill towards them. And I mean, their voices in general, their stage presence, and Alesia, echoing on you, they're universal. There's a warmth to them that is just very infectious. Now, guys, in Melfest, the fans were always straight in analyzing the running order, who's opening, who's closing. Because they're closing, does that mean they're showstoppers? Who's getting the pimp spot? You know, we haven't got a lot to go off. So just on names and songwriting teams, who do we predict is going to be in the big semi-final one? Who's going to be opening and closing? Where's your head at, guys?
I think the mamas are going to close.
Same.
I think they're going to close, but I think the pimp slot actually might go to Daughter or Danny Saucedo.
It's tough to know what SVT are thinking because this lineup for me is like the strongest and most competitive in years. I don't know if it's because of COVID, artists haven't been able to do their usual gigs, so they're using this as a platform, you know, to get out there and showcase. Or is this just Christian Bjorkman saying, "I want to win before I go"? He's coming with all guns blazing, and I'm here for it. I love a competitive contest. I love going in and not knowing what's going to happen. I agree. I think the Mamas are going to be. They started this year, 2020. They opened the first one, so I can see them being like one that SVT wants the audience to wait for. You know, even international fans were waiting to see what In the Middle sounds like.
I do think Mamas might be, just because you still have them in your mind and like, oh my God, they're coming back. Oh, but we want to hear the song. Oh, you gotta wait, you know? So I do think that's the one thing I'm thinking of. I do think Mama's gonna end it.
I agree that the Mamas have the biggest chance to be closing semi-final 4. However, I wouldn't be surprised if they would be opening the first semi-final, because it would be so emotional that the first song of Melodifestivalen in 2021 was the Mamas song. Or maybe the Mamas are closing semi-final 4 and Daughter is opening semi-final 1. So we have this full circle of Melfest 2020 and Melfest 2021 with this amount of big names. I think that probably 2 big names are going to be on each semi-final, and then mixed with artists that are debuting this year.
I think Eric's gonna open.
Ooh.
Well, last time he was taking part, he closed last semi-final, so maybe he can open the first one this time.
That's why, that's part of it. I think he's a big enough, you know, name. You know, he obviously went to Eurovision before, and because he had closed before, I kind of have my money on Eric maybe opening. The way that the semis were structured last year, I found slightly troubling. Because because normally I feel like we do end up having a nice mix in each semi, but for me last year, it seemed like some of them were so tough and some of them were just so clear and easy to predict. So I hope this year we get a little bit more of a shuffle, mix of songs and genres and artists and heavy hitters. But I will say one thing I appreciate about Melodifestivalen and the Swedish public is that it is the song. It isn't the name. It really is the song. But arguably, we had a semi last year, I think it was the third one, that I think name recognition began to play a part. That was the one with Mohambi and Mariette.
Oh yeah, that was evident for sure. Yeah. Guys, hosts, we haven't heard anything. Usually we get the names. There was rumors that Danny Saucedo was supposed to be hosting one of the semifinals, but he decided to compete instead.
Wow.
Alesia, me and you spoke before. We thought maybe instead of Molly Sandon coming back as an artist this year, we were like, ooh, it could be a good idea to keep her in the public eye.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to maybe ask her if she was available. I would love to see her kind of host, because she does have like a nice personality, and I think she could totally be like the singer role. I mean, I do feel a little bit like with an all-star lineup, we got to have like all-star hosting. I'd love to see Sarah Dawn Finer.
I love that woman. Oh,
I mean, I would love that. I also love Petra. If Petra's available, you know, come on, call her up, call her girl up. And I always just throw out there, you know, Ace Wilder is not gonna like compete, but great personality, great stage presence, would be amazing emceeing and presenting, I think.
I would love to see Ace Wilder. That would be amazing. Molly, 100%. I mean, and I love the Danny, because I loved him as a host. And I read this article when he was like, you know what, I don't want to lead it. I want to perform. And I quote him, I want to show people how awesome I am. And I love that he goes with that, which is like, I'm awesome. Let's just show them what I got. I love that.
The first thing that came to my mind was Sarah Dawn Finer. I just love that woman. I love her so much. She's an amazing host, but I'm waiting for her to come back as an artist. Please, Sarah, if you're watching this, come back. We need
The
you.
Swede is not gonna give her no points, so don't waste your time. Post it, girl.
Yeah, she's always robbed and
Post it.
underrated,
She
but
can
I
do
need to see
everything.
her.
Bring Linda Woodruff with you too. I would love to see her again. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, Linda can host and Sarah can perform as an artist.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. It's always a pleasure chatting to you all. We could have talked for hours. We all know that's a fact. But until we find out the songs and any more information, we're going to leave it here. Thank you so much. And until next time, hey do.
Hey, though.
Hey, do.